Hi, Doug with WalkingThePlate.com, and welcome to my favorite ballpark in all of baseball. This is going to be a somewhat biased but honest review of Fenway Park. So when it comes to Fenway Park, one of the things I would tell you to do is eat before you go in the park. Either hit one of these stands outside. They got sausages, they got steaks, they got chicken, they got anything you want. Or hit the stands there on Jersey Street / Yawkey Way, depending on which one you want to call it. But the food in the park itself, you're going to find, is really not very good. In fact, the food in the park, quite honestly, is kind of terrible. But when you look at the food stands outside, as I try not to get in their shot, don't do that. People hate it. Anytime you're looking at the food inside, skip it. Eat outside the park. Eat at one of the many bars out here, because there are a ton of bars. Eat at one of the many food carts and food trucks outside, because they're on every corner. Or eat just over on Jersey Street. There are a ton of choices there. Skip the Fenway Frank. Please skip the Fenway Frank. And skip the cold pizza inside. Just skip it. Take my word for it. Eat outside, get fat and happy out here. Have a few pops or whatever your choice is out here too. There are a lot of places to go. One of my favorite bars here at Fenway Park is actually the Bleacher Bar. So one of the cool things about the Bleacher Bar is you're going to see inside, is it's literally right at field level. You can even see the field in there. Food, not bad really for what it is. It's a little bit dark, but I'm going to take you inside for a quick peek. So this is the Bleacher Bar. It's literally in Fenway Park. So one of the cool things about this, like I mentioned outside, is that the field's actually there, along with the field, which is awesome because it's loaded in here all the time. It's kind of dark when it's hot here, it gets hot in here. But the coolest thing about this bar is not just that you can see Fenway Park directly from the table, but if I can do this right, it's also the only bar I've ever been in where you can literally watch, while you're taking a leak. See that guy up there? That guy's taking a leak. Don't tell anyone. Long shots, Hold the items up to the middle of the chest. Let's go. Jersey Street or Yawkey Way, depending on which you prefer, is one of the main places to go here before the game. It's where the main souvenir store is. It's also where a number of food stands are, and a great place to grab a bite to eat. So one of the things I talked about before I came in, don't eat in the park. There are so many other choices. Eat at a truck, eat at a cart outside of the park, or come in here to Jersey Street because there are tons of choices. Sometimes there'll be bands playing. Always have them playing catch with kids. It's a must-see in your Fenway Park experience. Depending on the day, you may run into El Tiante, Louis Tiant here at a stand. If you have the chance, definitely say hello, get an autograph. Louis is always fantastic with fans. And by the way, just a really good person too.
duo Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz. Situations coach.
There's a new addition to Fenway Park this year, and that's direct in this right center area, the new Truly area. Nesson has their new broadcast booth in the back. Gotta tell you, it's not quite as cool as having the guys outside there on Jersey Street, but that's all right. Here's the view from this lower area. Anything they can do to add more seats and some interesting places to watch the game. Directly behind me is the red seat, where Ted Williams mythically hit a gigantic home run here, the longest home run ever hit at Fenway Park. Now, this video, not a history lesson. I'll be honest, there are better videos, there are better tours, there are better documentaries that talk about the history of this amazing ballpark. But there's the seat anyway. Keep watching, because what this video is for the views, for a little bit of guidance, a little bit of advice. And so I have something to watch later myself, because I love this park. So here's the seat, and here's the view. Gotta tell you, long ways. So here's something funny, ready? There's no way somebody hit that ball during BP this way. So I'll take it. Give it to some kid later. I don't need it. of these at home, but if you have one of these or one of these, drop me a note. When it comes to kid zones here at Fenway Park, there are no carousels, there are no Ferris wheels, there are no wiffle ball parks. You got a couple of stands behind me, a ceramic Wally, a ceramic Tessie, and that's it. You're gonna find when it comes to amenities at Fenway Park, it's pretty bare bones, but that's okay. You know, you're here to watch baseball, you're here to take in the history, you're here to just enjoy the day, especially when it's gonna be 95 and sunny. So bring something to keep your kids entertained, especially if you know, they're the ones that maybe are a little antsy. Bring them something, break them in slow. It's okay if your kid needs to use their iPad or a phone during times in the game. Just make sure you keep them juiced up with a couple of Cokes, some cotton candy, some kettle corn, whatever you need to do, because if you support them now, that love of the game is going to grow and you're going to benefit later, I promise. Take your kids to a ball game. You're going to love every minute of it. They'll remember it too. You may have seen online that, you know, the sightlines at Fenway Park sometimes are a little bit of an opportunity. This is the view from the seat that's right at my feet. First time I was at Fenway Park years ago, we were supposed to come with a friend of ours. He bailed, but we had 3 tickets. I like to joke that this was his seat, so it's a good thing we had a 3rd seat. Keep that in mind when you're buying tickets here at Fenway, especially if you're in the old wood seats here in the grandstand. First of all, I'm roughly 6 foot. I'm not a petite guy, so I need a little more space. If you need a little more space for height and or weight, the wood seats are not for you. Be in the lower areas, otherwise you're going to be really uncomfortable. Are the wood seats practical? No, but they still are cool though. It's history of the game, man. You got to enjoy it. Even if this entire upper bowl is uncomfortable, for the sake of preserving history, it's a sacrifice you have to make, I guess. Some of my favorite seats at Fenway Park are the baseline box seats. So I'll take either first or third baseline. I've got a good view of the mound. Obviously you get the whole field. But the other thing that you want to keep in mind as you're looking at these seats, some of the ones closer to the dugout, closer to home plate, they actually have quite a few kind of obstructions because of all the cabling and everything for the nets. So last night, for example, I was up just to the third base side of home plate. You have the door and everything, so the framework of the door to the net was there. You've got all the cables that are being held, so sometimes there's a little bit of visual obstruction there that you don't get as much in these baseline box seats here in the lower bowl. Bleacher seats are good too. For the price, they're a good spot. You know, I've actually been here, I mean, so many times I've sat pretty much everywhere, but these baseline boxes are my favorite. When I say that my favorite seats are the box seats along the baselines, that's true, but a close second, very close second, is actually the seats up on the Green Monster. So I didn't buy tickets up there today, and I know what you're thinking is, well, why not? It honestly didn't come down to expense, although I would tell you they are very expensive. It came down to the fact that it's going to be 95 degrees and sunny today. You can see I'm breaking a sweat already, and it is going to be hot as hell up there. So I'm going to stick with the lower bowl today, but this is through the magic of editing, where I'll throw in a couple of video clips from when I was up there last time. You can pretend I was there today, even though it was the last few times. I try to go up there at least once a trip, but not going to happen this trip. But amazing seats up there, although let me say that with a caveat. Do front row or standing room only. If you're in the second or the third row, you're obstructed, you're not going to see as much of the field, you're not going to see any of this left field area. So at that point, you might as well be standing room. So by the first row, so you can actually look over the edge, you can see the players making the play, you can feel the ball virtually vibrating underneath you when it hits. But the second, third rows, you might as well be standing room only because you're going to have the same view up there. So that is a tip, because there's not a ton of savings in price between the second and third row. The first row is usually about $200 to $300 more depending on the games you're going to. Your best bet, quite honestly, is to check StubHub first, but also check the Red Sox site day of game, because every so often they have some that do get released, and you might surprise yourself and find yourself in the front row of the monster for face value, which is still pretty expensive, but it beats paying a premium. Here's a seating tip for those of you that are allergic to the sun or people from the Pacific Northwest, like myself. If you're looking to stay in the shade and trying to avoid as much sun as you can during these day games specifically, shoot for these lower home plate sections, as well as that right field line over by the dugout. All that side is relatively shaded. You'll notice behind me, visitor dugout section is pretty much in the sun for a while. But these sections here behind home plate and over towards the home dugout do stay more shaded, especially on days like today where it's going to be 95 and sunny. The organist is wishing that it was cooler, because so far I've heard "Let It Snow" and "White Christmas" in the last 10 minutes. So I think he's ready for a break from the sun and the heat, and it's just starting. One thing to know about Fenway Park concourses is that they are tight. First of all, they smell like hot dogs, but not in a good way. Second of all, they're tight, especially during the game, so don't be surprised if, when you're here, it's going to be a little tight in the bathrooms, getting concessions, and then you never know, you may have some asshole walking around with a gimbal. But it's like I can see everything around me, so I do my best. But be prepared for just random people breaking in front of you for no reason in these tight concourses, because it happens here all the time. Game time, and I'm back here in my seat, sitting on a glorious day. It's 95 and sunny, so I tried to go up to the State Street Pavilion, but Fenway Park's kind of like Dodger Stadium circa 2000. If you don't have a ticket, you're not going up there, even if my seats are more expensive and better, but whatever, that's okay. I think I have stock video from one of my last visits from the State Street Pavilion. If I do, this is going to be where I had it right about now. And if there's an awkward pause and it keeps going, I didn't have any footage. I'm sorry about that.
It's nice people like talk to them and stuff.
Another beautiful day here at Fenway Park. Unfortunately, it wasn't a great day for my Seattle Mariners. Julio Rodriguez there in the background. Rookie of the year, be ready for it. You know, I always love this park. It's got the history of the game going for it, and even through its flaws, it just can't be beat. It's my #1 park in baseball. I know I'm biased, but I hope you saw that this, park does have a few warts as well. When you look at the grandstands and the old wood seats and how tight they are, when you look at obstructed views in those areas, when you look at some of the angles of the seatings in the corners, especially in right field, it's got some issues. Tight concourse is not the best. The food here at Fenway Park, terrible. But this park cannot be beat. If you love history of the game, if you love just being at a park that just feels like a ballpark, no frills, no gimmicks, Fenway Park can't be beat. It's my #1 park. Thanks for watching. It's been an awesome opportunity. And if you stay tuned here at the end, there are even some views that you don't normally see. Stay tuned. Keep watching. There's interesting stuff at the end. At least I think it's interesting. It was certainly interesting when I was out there. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel if you're into it. If you're not, thanks for watching anyway. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Keep hitting those parks and enjoy the game. On here in about 15 minutes.